I'm going to list some activities, and as you listen, I'd like you to take a mental note of how many of these things you have done or seen other people doing while driving. Texting, talking on the phone, eating, using a navigation system, watching a video, changing radio stations. How about listening to loud music, comforting children, putting your pet in your lap, writing grocery lists, doing hair, makeup, or changing clothes and shoes? Now, I don't know how many of these things you'd admit to doing, but believe it or not, drivers you meet on the highway every day are guilty of doing pretty much everything but paying attention to the road. Although dangers of distracted driving are real and frightening, most people behind the wheel ignore these dangers. Distracted driving is a huge concern among all ages of drivers and needs our immediate and full attention. In order to explain why distracted driving is such a concern, we will drive through the risks of distracted driving, shine our headlights on how big of a problem it really is, and finally, stop the common trend of distracted driving. Let's begin our journey by taking a good look at the dangers of distracted driving. Anyone who drives without paying full attention to only driving is clouding one or all four of the tasks of the brain: visual, auditory, manual, and cognitive. Vision is obviously the most important sense for safe driving. The National Safety Council's 2010 publication, Understanding the Distracted Brain, explains that drivers using hands-free or handheld phones have a tendency to look but not see objects. In fact, drivers using cell phones look but fail to see up to 50% of the information on their driving environment. And remember that while driving, we just don't have other cars to see. A 13-year-old boy in Massachusetts town was killed while riding his bike because a man had lost control of his car while sending a text, striking the boy. According to a January 2008 article in the Provident Journal, the driver had said he thought he hit a mailbox, which shows that the driver was not watching the road at all. You might think you can eat, or change the radio, or look through mail while driving and you'll be okay. You can multitask, right? Wrong. Multitasking actually does not exist. The National Safety Council explains that the brain switches between two tasks. Because our brain can switch between them so fast, this leads us to believe we are multitasking. We can't do either task with full focus, which in turn can cause crashes. In fact, when the brain must switch its attention and focus from one task to another, reaction times are slowed. And when a driver needs to react immediately, there is no margin for error. In Gray Summit, Missouri, in 2010, 2 people were killed and 38 injured in a crash with a pickup truck and 2 school buses. It was found that the 19-year-old driving the truck had sent or received 11 texts in the 11 minutes before the accident. According to the December 2011 Denver Post article by Anthony Cotton, clearly the risks are high, from loud music to talking to passengers to eating a burger on your way home. Any task that distracts a driver must be avoided. Next, let's shine our headlights on how serious this problem really is. According to the American Journal of Public Health's 2010 article, Trends in Fatalities from Distracted Driving in the United States, 6,000 people are killed from people texting and driving each year in the U.S. You have a 30% higher risk of getting in a crash while texting and driving than when driving undistracted and using cell phones. Using cell phones while driving has contributed to 636,000 crashes, 330,000 injuries, 12,000 serious injuries, and over 6,000 deaths each year. 80% of crashes are due to drivers' inattention. Finally, let's put a stop to distracted driving by knowing the dangers and following some simple suggestions. If you are driving and receive a message or a call, have someone else in the car answer or read the message for you. If you're alone, pull over to the side of the road before answering, or better yet, wait until you get to your destination. Even though we are in the information age and feel the need to always be connected, consider the best alternative. Turn off your phone when you get in your car to prevent temptation. The same goes for any other distraction. Are we so hungry or busy that we can't wait to eat until we're stationary? Get up 5 minutes earlier so you can put on your makeup or fix your hair. Looking beyond what we can do as individual drivers, laws and policies against distracted driving need to be more specific and mandatory. Currently, 35 states have banned texting and 10 have banned talking on a handheld phone while driving. According to the American Journal of Public Health's article. But, as the article also states, catching drivers in the act of texting is difficult without close observation by police. And what are the consequences? Many laws consider distracted driving as a secondary offense, so drivers have to be doing something else before police can pull them over. Shouldn't a driver who causes a fatal crash because of distracted driving be charged with vehicular homicide? Education is key to solving this epidemic. If the public has learned that not wearing seat belts, speeding, and impaired driving is risky, they can learn that so is distracted driving, no matter how experienced of a driver we think we are. As the Drive Safely Corporation states in the November 2011 article, prevention strategies that may show the most promise are legislative policies coupled with highly visible enforcement and strict consequences. Let's stop this epidemic. Now the questions are left for you to answer. Do you take that risk of driving distracted and turning you and your family's lives upside down? Do you take that chance that something terrible might happen in that 4.6 seconds that you would spend looking or sending a text message? I hope that by examining the risks of distracted driving, looking at how big of a problem it really is, and its potential solutions, you will pledge to do your share by taking responsibility for your actions behind the wheel. Nothing is more important than our safety, not a phone call, a text, or any other distraction. I know what my future will hold. Do you?